that ministry. We have been talking in a series on character in the kingdom from Matthew chapter 5. And we've looked at a number of things, and we won't complete that today. Probably by next Sunday we will complete this series more than likely, I think, I hope, but not that I'm in a hurry to get over with, but we need to go ahead and move on to some other things. But we have covered a lot of ground in this series. So turn to Matthew chapter 5. And just to recap just a little bit, we've talked about a number of things concerning the kingdom and character of a kingdom man or woman. And in Matthew chapter 5, we began looking, of course, at the Beatitudes. And we took a look at in a teaching on salt and light. And we talked about the higher righteousness that Christ demands, that he calls for. We talked about anger and reconciliation. And so there's just been a number of things that we have waded through. I've got notes here. Of course, as you know, I don't always stick to all my notes, but I try to stay on track as much as possible. We do get off the beaten path every once in a while. But we have shared a lot just from this series. The morality of Christ, true worshipers, all these things we have covered and more. And to even recap, I can't even cover everything we covered just in recapping just from the notes. So there again, they are on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, or you can catch it on Facebook on the church page, Facebook, or the Kingdom Talk Facebook page. We run them there, and so at any time that you may want to go back over that, if you're looking at these scriptures, you can go back and see what we talked about. So we did leave off the last time. Of course, we haven't. Everything's been going on the last couple of weeks. We haven't been able to get back to the series, but we did begin covering the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law, and we began to give illustrations. And just to recap what we are going over, what we've been going over, and what we will continue to go over. The letter of the law says no murder. The spirit of the law says no anger. The letter of the law says no adultery. The spirit of the law says no lust. The letter says no divorce. The spirit says commitment. The letter says no oath taken. The spirit says speak the truth. The letter says no retaliation. The spirit speaks forgiveness. The letter says hatred for your enemy. The spirit of the law says love for your enemy. Tradition allowed the letter of the law, and the spirit of the law commanded some things, as we began to see. The first illustration we looked at was that of murder, and the kingdom character being applied is what we began to talk about. Applying kingdom character to these things that Jesus began to give us instruction concerning. So we took spent a while on murder, on whoever's angry with his brother without a cause. We spent some time on that and talked about spiritual murder and what Jesus, his aspects regarding the act of murder, sin of murder, from both the spiritual and the natural standpoint. So we want to move on now and begin in Matthew 5 verse 27. And we're going to begin taking a look at what the letter of the law says: no adultery. The spirit of the law says no lust. And so we're going to go in and try to dig out a few things there. And with as much time as what we have left, we'll find a stopping point and then continue next week. We spent a lot of time recognizing, of course, Memorial Day this morning. We want to recognize the fallen. We don't want that to ever go unrecognized at this church. And any kind of, especially military holiday, whether it's Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Armed Forces Day, we want to recognize those who serve this country and serve well. And so we've done that this morning, so that's where most of our time is gone today. And so we won't have as much time this morning to dive in this, but we are going to get somewhere quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm going to talk fast, you listen fast, and we'll get there.